down. Okay, you guys are recording this. Okay. Let me use the word passing down the baton for efficient work process. You know, you learn from someone that you are with. You are seeing the person's way of life and how things are being done. And in such way, you see such organizations being generational. Note that when the leader is not on the table in the office, things will not go on. Do I make sense at all?
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you for that. Personally, I always see mentorship as a way of where our leaders hold our hands and they show us paths to follow in whatever field of development we've chosen. So if I want to be, I want to be let's basic to surveying now. If I want to focus in drone area survey, I know I can always come to Surveyor Wale. Surveyor Wale, please, can you teach me this? Yeah, and he's always going to be like, okay. In that aspect, Surveyor Wale now becomes my mentor. He would always tell me, I want you to make mistakes, especially in aspect he himself has fallen. He would not want me to go through that route. It's only when I now become disobedient or I want to take fair around me. Yeah, I think that you're right. That's when, yeah, maybe I want to do what pleases my heart. That's when I now okay, let me leave you to do whatever you want to do. Mr. Kayode Samuel, or is this Surveyor Kayode Samuel? Do you have something to share to us about mentoring in organizations?
Well, good evening. I'm not a surveyor yet, so it's still
okay.
All right. So I think I'll just follow your lead because mentorship is you've seen someone that is doing well in an organization, someone you trust, you can talk to, that you have same values, same goals, and you can always listen to their advice. So those are those people, the leaders are the one that can hold you when things are going rough. You can run to them at any time. So that is just someone like a mentor. So, and you personally, you want mentorship. Yes, you also have to, have a kind of mindset that, okay, I have an idea, but I want to fall under a mentor. Whatever they are teaching me, it means I have to, abide by it. I think that's my little understanding about it. Thank you.
And do we know that mentorship does not have to do with age? Like, you could be older than your mentor. Is that true?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay. So that means mentorship can be vice versa. I'm learning from you. Do you hear me?
Your mic was muted.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that it means in mentoring, I'm learning from you and you're also learning from me. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So, Surveyor Oyebisi, are you on this call, please? Surveyor BC? Okay. Good day, Surveyor Akinropo. Please, I wanted you to just talk about mentoring in organizations because I know that's one of the things you're also into.
Yeah, thank you very much, Soriano. Well, there's not much mentoring, but I feel like every student that has outgrown some negative aspects of life over time has always gone through a very good and professional mentorship. I believe that mentorship can really shape the life of every surveyor. Mostly surveyors that has come out to be very, very perfect, and not 100% perfect actually, but like they work due diligently and they work ethically. I'm lucky to have gone through few surveyors that's mentored me, and over time I've never for one day regret the fact that I went through them. The likes of Surveyor Adewebi, FNIS, a retired general, and Surveyors that will do. So both of them, as you know, they've tried to shape me some way in life. And today I have a lot of people that come to me and would talk about how it is to work ethically in surveying. I have something to tell them because of what I've learned from my bosses. So I feel like mentorship is essential, and it's something that everybody needs to go through, because when you go through it, you'll be able to learn some things that you don't even have an idea of in school, and even for the little time you've been out of school. So it can really shape your life and put you on the right path to achieve a lot of things in life, in
Okay.
surveying, actually.
Yeah, thank you very much, Surveyor. Then our final speaker, before we bring up our guest speaker, is going to be Surveyor Adewebi Oyebisi. Please, can you hear us? Surveyor BC?
Hello.
Hello, good evening. We can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes. Okay. Based on the topic that we're actually talking about, so far so good. I can actually say that mentoring in surveying and in this career is a necessity if we look at how the profession has been fine-tuned in a way, because without mentoring, there are certain intricacies, there are certain areas that you cannot get through to. There are certain areas of surveying that you will need guidance and you will need proper mentorship to be able to navigate it. Me, I'm privileged to have been mentored. So I've been under mentoring of Brigadier General Emi Adeniran retired, and also Surveyor Ayokunle Ajayi. And I can actually tell you for the past 15 years of being in surveying, mentorship has really helped. It has really given a direction, and it has also helped me to be a better person, because it's just like when you don't have a direction, then there is nothing you can really do. But the way surveying has been placed in CADA has really helped us to have opportunity to have various mentors, various facilitators at different stages of our life. So I would advise and I would employ other surveyors coming in, associates, pupil surveyors, probationers, students, that mentoring is a big part that cannot be overlooked or written off, because the way the profession is, you need experience of past leaders, and also surveyors that have actually had 20, 40, 50 years experience. We still have them alive. A lot of surveyors have had the kind of experience that even we don't have it right now. Some has faded off because of the insertion of technology, whereas we hear it from their mouth, and the mentorship is just what we need. Yes, we might have some people that might be harsh when it comes to mentorship, but I believe that nothing good comes easy. So when you are able to persevere and learn over time, when you become a boss of your own, or you are in your own place, the opportunity that you've had, the lessons that you've learned during mentorship would actually help. Nobody says mentorship is easy. It's not easy. It's not a bed of roses. There will be challenges, but you will have to adapt and enjoy it as it is. So it's what it is.
Okay.
Can I say
thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I know that if I leave the whole hour for you, you are going to use some of your Vincent's time. So, but we
No
need to
problem.
bring up our guest speaker right now.
Okay.
So with standing ovation wherever we are, I'm going to be reading a citation of our guest speaker. Our guest speaker, Surveyor Olumide Vincent Adewebi, FNIS. Off the camera, please. Sir, are you standing up?
Actually, I'm just about to. I'm about to. You want me to stand, Abby?
Okay, don't worry. No, you can give us the virtual standing. That's fine.
Okay, I'm standing physically. Go ahead.
I know, please sit. I was just pulling your legs, actually.
Okay, I'm not.
All right. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Surveyor Olumide Vincent Adewebi is a distinguished fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Survey, NIS, and a highly respected leader in Nigerian surveying industry. With nearly 4 decades of experience in professional practice, institutional leadership, and ethical advocacy, he is the executive director of Geosys Nigeria Limited and Spatial Geodata Services Limited, and currently serves as the chairman of Surveyors Business Group, SBG, a prestigious collective of visionary professionals shaping the future of surveying profession in Nigeria. In case if you've not joined SBG, quickly, ask him for the link while he's on call so that you can join. Surveyor Adewebi has served the NIS at both state and national level, including as Secretary General 2012 to 2016, Vice President International 2021 to 2023, and twice a Secretary of Board of Fellow. He has served on the Council of Surveyors of the Surveyors Council of Nigeria, SOCON, and was the Secretary General of the Association of the Professional Body of Nigeria, APBN. In 2019, he was appointed by Lagos State Governor to the Physical Planning and Building Control Appeal Committee, and he contributes to over 60 major projects. Wow. He contributes to over 60 major projects through his role in the Land Building Commission of the Catholic Archdiocese of Lagos. Internationally, he is the Vice President West Africa of the Commonwealth Association of Surveying and Land Economy, CASL, and serves on the FIG Young Surveyors Network African Mentorship Committee. Surveyor Adewebi is a national coordinator of SMILE Initiative and leads the business of surveying TBS work group, empowering surveyors with tools for excellent and professional practice and ethical leadership. A passionate mentor, he has guided over 100 interns. Wow. Many who are now licensed professional and institutional leader. Is a knight of St. John International, a family man, and a dedicated voice of integrity, innovation, and professionalism in the built environment. Can we give it a round of applause for Surveyor Olumide Vincent Adewebi, FNIS? You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I'm really humbled. Thank you so much. So, good evening, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be here with you on the YSN Lagos State, whom I rightly consider the foremost YSN branch in the country. You guys are really doing wonderfully well, and my congratulations to your leader, Raul, and all your former leaders, many of whom are on this platform. Today, we're going to be talking about how to build an effective mentorship program in surveying practice. I listened to the introductory part of this program and the questions that were answered. Almost everybody that spoke was spot on about mentorship. You have a very good understanding of not just mentorship, what mentorship is, but you also have a good understanding of what it can offer you. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, wonderful. You have a good understanding. You have a good understanding of what it really means. Unfortunately, I cannot say that about every young surveyor. And I don't really want to blame them as well, because the surveying profession has been portrayed as a master-servant relationship profession. That's a narrative that your generation must definitely change. Somebody said mentorship is not about age. I completely agree. Mentorship is about knowledge sharing. Mentorship also is not about getting connections. Mentorship is not about finding you a job or giving you that urgent 2K when you are broke. That is not what mentorship is about. Nobody said that. Mentorship is about guidance. The fact that you have a mentor doesn't mean you will not make mistakes. A mentorship is not a plug. It's not a connector for you. A mentorship is like a sounding board, somebody that you should sound your ideas off. It's not the job of a mentor to tell you that this way you are going, you're actually going to be very wrong. A mentor would, how many of you are parents here? For those of you who are parents here, when your child is about to learn to walk or learn to ride a bicycle, because you are the one looking over that child, you know exactly when that child is going to fall, right? But you wait until the last minute before you catch that child from falling. That is what mentorship is like. Because if you keep trying to prevent the child from falling every time the child stumbles, that child will never get to learn how to walk or ride a bicycle in time. So a mentor is like your guardian angel. He watches you. He still gives you that freedom of choice, that freedom of speech, that freedom of ideas. The mentor knows the answer, but he's not going to tell you. He wants to see whether you can find your way in that darkness by yourself. That is what a mentor should be. And every mentee should understand that a time is going to come when that mentee himself or herself is going to be a mentor too. So I also agree with those who say that mentorship is a two-way street. The mentor also learns from the mentee. Our great sage, late Surveyor Adekunle Kukoyi, used to say something. He said, people say Adekunle Kukoyi is not up to date. He says, why should you blame Adekunle Kukoyi? Is it possible to have the education of 1989 in 1959? It's not. So Adekunle Kukoyi may not be able to physically do the things you want him to do, but he knows how to get them done because he knows how to arrange for the right people to give him the results that he needs. So ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about mentorship. As you could have read from my profile, I'm part of the FIG Young Surveyors Africa Network Mentorship Program. That's a program that we developed for young surveyors in Africa. And we modeled it off a program that was already in existence by they used to call them SSI back in the day. That's the Australian Institution of Surveyors. And they had a wonderful mentorship program, which we modeled ours over. Funny enough, the United States, the Americas are now modeling their program of our African program, and they are kicking off this year. So definitely we've been doing something good. So I've talked about understanding the purpose of mentorship, the power of mentorship. How are we now going to design a mentorship program such it actually gets value to our mentees? So I'm going to be sharing a lot of the experience I had from the African mentorship program, because that program had a lot of challenges. First of all, Africa is West Africa, East Africa, North Africa, South Africa. Even the English-speaking countries, amongst all of us, we have a language barrier. The way we speak our English is quite different. I'm sure you must have noticed that. Then there's also the challenge of making the mentor and the mentee are on the same frequency in terms of their likes, their dislikes. Sometimes the age difference matters a lot. People say it doesn't really matter, but between me and you, how much respect would you have for a mentor that is just 2 years older than you or 2 years younger than you? You may think it doesn't matter, but eventually it gets to you sometimes. And from our experience, we found out that sometimes it's good to have a reasonable age difference between the mentor and the mentee so that your subconscious can actually accept him as somebody who knows much more than you. So what does mentorship, why do we really need it? I've heard a lot of young surveyors say that mentorship is like a second slavery. Maybe because of the kind of mentors that they have. Maybe some mentors too, and I will agree, don't understand what mentorship really is about. They think it's about people serving them, and it is not. Mentorship helps you to build the knowledge gap. And there is a huge knowledge gap. I'm sure that those of you who have finished school and have been practicing will understand that there's a big difference from what we are taught in school and what real life in practice shows us. Do you agree? Wonderful. So we agree that there's a huge difference in that. So the mentorship helps you bridge that knowledge gap. And it also helps you mitigate the professional risks. There is a lot of professional risk because the surveys you do now are no longer class practicals. These are real life surveys. People are going to use them and money is involved. A lot of personal feelings are involved. Somebody's whole stake is involved. You know, the survey is just the first step of a large dream. It could be an event center, it could be a hotel, it could be somebody's dream house. The survey is just the very first step. So a mistake in your survey could actually cost somebody so much. And that's why it helps you to mitigate the professional risks by asking questions, especially when you are not too sure. Yes, all of us are registered as surveyors. And I don't think any one of us would want to reject a job that is offered to us, even though we know we don't have the competencies for it. Mentorship helps us to be able to deliver on such jobs. So let me give you an example. A young graduate started freelancing, but partnered with a quack due to pricing ignorance. A mentor stepped in and taught him the proper costing, client handling, and ethical project execution. Today, he runs a compliant and growing practice. How many of us have found ourselves in this particular situation? Sometimes the allure of money makes us side of the swimming pool, not that we don't know how to swim. So it's important that we take our mentorship very, very seriously. So when you're designing a mentorship program, what are the things that you need to consider? Let me just run through the list. First of all, you have to understand the purpose of the mentorship. What is the purpose? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to transfer a skill? Like somebody mentioned that our chief drone pilot, Abolaji, will teach me how to use a drone. That is transferring a skill. Are you trying to transfer an ethical strength? This is for somebody who has challenges. Sir, I've tried to stick to the scale of fees, but every time somebody comes to me, they are offering me 50%. I've not done anything for the last 6 months. Is this how I'm going to continue? And all my colleagues are doing the same thing. So what do I do? Hello, can you still hear me, please?
Yes, sir, we can still hear you, sir.
Okay.
Can hear you, sir.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Is this how this practice is? I'm going to join them all. A mentor could actually calm you down and make you understand. Maybe the purpose is to transfer business acumen. So is it a business acumen that you want to transfer? How do I build my practice so that I can work with corporate clients? I have this plug that wants to introduce me to an oil and gas company. This is very different from what I've been doing before. So they're asking me things like, what is your HSC plan? What is your business continuity plan? What is your indemnity plan? What is where are your work procedures? How many procedures do you have? What is your safety record? I've not done these things before. So you have to have a clear-cut objective for what your mentorship program is going to be. Then you have to choose a model. Is it going to be the apprenticeship style, which means when I'm going to site, you follow me, do as I do? Or is it going to be the peer mentoring style where we sit down and you talk, I talk, we try and understand ourselves? Or is it going to be a business mentoring style where you come up with your proposal, you come and sound it off me before you go and see your client? What style are you going to use? Then you have to think about the selection. How do you pair a mentor with a mentee? Sometimes you may not be the mentor. You also may not be the mentee in question. Somebody has asked you, who do you think can mentor me in this? You have to think about the temperament. Is this person good with young people? Is he only good with young but religious people? Is he very good with people with dada hair? Does he like people that wear beads? Does he like people who drink alcohol? All these things come to play, pairing the mentor and mentee selection. Then the next thing you have to think about is your matching strategy, which is part of what I've said now. You match areas of interest with areas of proficiency. Somebody who wants to learn drone now, you won't send him to somebody who is very good in landing disputes. So it's important that you know how to match them very well. And you also have to consider their temperament, their downside. Some people are very shy, so they need somebody who is patient with them. Some people too get angry very easily. So you also need to have somebody who is ready to tolerate the shut up, what is wrong with you? Why are you not serious? Like somebody mentioned, sometimes some mentors are very harsh, but their harshness is not because they don't like you. But then implement if you are starting a mentorship program like we did for the FIG Africa, we started with a pilot. If it's something you want to do long term, you should start with a pilot. Don't take on too many mentees at the same time. Don't let the mentorship program be too long. It's important that your mentorship program has a timeline. It cannot be open-ended. If not, both the mentor and the mentee will believe they have all the time in the world to get through their program. You must define your goals, you must agree on a timeline, and you must agree on a procedure. After agreeing on a pilot, you should structure the sessions. I mean, you should have, are we meeting once a week? Are we meeting twice a week? When do we meet? Are we meeting over a WhatsApp call? Are we meeting physically? Can I just call you at any time? No. A mentorship program should have a structure. You see, that structure allows you to build discipline at the same time. And it should be strictly about what you are discussing. A mentorship relationship is not a friendship. It is not a friendship. If you want to convert it into a friendship, just stop the mentorship and convert it into a friendship, or finish the mentorship and then convert it into a friendship. A mentorship relationship is not a friendship. You should have already laid out topics that you want to discuss over the mentorship period, so you don't keep changing the agenda as you are moving through the program. You should have the topics you should have agreed. That should be the first things you agree on in your first meeting. There should be mutual respect so you can track progress. What I'm trying about mutual respect is that if you know you're not going to meet a session as a mentee or a mentor, inform the other party in time so that they can do better things with their time. You should also agree on how you are going to make up for the time that you have missed. You must have a way of tracking progress. So every meeting should end with a summary of what we have discussed and the things we are going to discuss in the next session. Every meeting should also start with a recap of what we discussed the last time and what we're about to discuss in this particular session. Both sides should take notes. That's very, very important, because after the mentorship cycle, your notes might be some of the things you would need to recall your discussions. Fortunately, in this modern time and age, you have so many tools on your phone that you can use for that. You can use technology as well, using WhatsApp groups, sharing information. If you are more than one mentee with one mentor will also help. It's also very, very instructive in my own case that you have physical meetings when you can. Because when you can put a face to what is being said, it helps you to remember much more. Your mentorship program, if it is really going to be beneficial to you, should not be about the tangibles alone. You should also try to get mentorship on disposition, decorum, character. Focus more on your soft skills. Then the next thing is, how do you measure success? Success on your mentorship is the feedback you get. Maybe some of your friends will say, only you seem to be dressing much better these days. So what's the secret? Or, I mean, bro, your contributions this day are so much on point. What can you actually go? How are you managing these things? That is feedback, which shows that your mentorship is working. Your confidence level must rise. Your independence as a person must also rise. It is so sad these days. Ọ̀gá ibi tẹ́ bá ń lọ là ń lọ. Tẹ́ bá sọ pé ká tẹ̀lé là ń tẹ̀lé. Nǹkan tẹ́ bá ní pé ká ṣe là ń ṣe. How many of us question those motives? How many of us question those decisions? But we we believe that we have to show so much loyalty. Loyalty is good. I don't have a problem with it. But a good mentor will not try to make you to become like him or her. A good mentor's job is to make you to come into your own full potential. That is what mentorship is about. If I mentor you, it's not about creating another Adewebi. It's about creating the real you. That is the success of mentorship for me. Not making you talk like me, act like me, behave like me. The success of mentorship is making sure that you can come to your own. It should show in your work. The quality of your work should change. The complaints you also get about your work should reduce because you are under mentorship. It's important that you're able to share with your mentor, and your mentor should be able to share with you the success stories that you have been able to create because of this mentorship. You should celebrate each other. That's very, very important. You're down, and you should also be able to console each other. That is another good thing about mentorship. If you look at the diagram you have on the screen, the person changing the screen, I hope you're following me. When you're here, you will see that I have a picture of somebody who's at the bottom of a hill and somebody who's on top of the hill, and both of them are stretching their hands towards each other. You can see that the hands are not meeting. Making them meet is the mentorship process. Making those hands meet. Because once those hands should connect, one is going to pull the other one up, and then they go for the next peak. So the summary of actions that I want to mention to you, because mentorship should actually be a discussion, and that's why I don't want to be too much talk. I also want to make this very interactive. I want you to ask your questions so I can answer them in real time. Start small, one-on-one mentors, one mentee, one mentor, if you want to be a mentor. If you also want to be a mentee and this is your first time, don't join a mentorship group where you have more than one or two mentees, so that your mentor can actually have enough time for you and you also can have enough confidence to speak your mind. Meet regularly and focus on goal-driven sessions. That means write down the things you want to discuss and follow the program. Don't deviate. Measure your progress and adjust appropriately. It could be a one-year program, it could be a two-year program, it could be a lifetime program. But every 6 months, ask your mentor how you're doing. And here is objective assessment of you. Now, build a culture to normalize mentorship in every branch of surveying. You can have more than one mentor. You can have as many mentors as possible. I have quite a number of mentors, and I have them for different reasons. And I still have them now, despite my close to 40 years in practice in surveying. So I have different mentors for different reasons, and they come with different ages. Some of my mentors too are even younger than me, but it's important that I have different mentors for different reasons so I can learn as much as possible. Now, I want to end with a quote. That's my presentation. That when a surveyor mentors one person, they multiply their legacy. So let each of us mentor someone so we can build a legacy of excellence. So I'd like us to discuss your questions so that we can have a full and robust discussion. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm so grateful to be with you here today. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you very much, sir. That was wonderful, and we appreciate it. So, dear YSN, please, if you have questions, please, you can unmute yourself and ask, because I can't see all our names at once. So I'll not be able to call your name. So please, if you have a question, please, can you unmute yourself and ask? But if you don't want to ask, please type.
Okay, I'll be looking at the chat box too, in case I see any questions there. Somebody says they would love to join SBG. That's something we don't discuss on the platform here. Just contact me personally. Thank you for your interest.
Please, do we have questions? Please unmute yourself if you have a question, and please on your message. Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, he said, Mr. Abdulmajid said, how do I identify a good mentor?
Okay, let me ask you a few questions, Abdulmajid. What areas do you think you need mentorship in?
Sir Abdul, please unmute yourself and please, he's asking you questions.
Okay, maybe I should just answer on his behalf. Let's assume that
on entrepreneurship, sir. Thank you.
On what?
He said entrepreneurship.
On entrepreneurship, very good. So you want to build, okay, you want to build your surveying practice to be a very corporate practice, right? Right?
I think his network is slow.
Yes.
Okay, let's assume that's what you want. So definitely you need somebody who's
entrepreneurship.
Yes, what I mean is that you need somebody who is successful in that particular field. You would not want to be with somebody who has not been able to demonstrate actual success in entrepreneurship. Secondly, you have to first find out if that person is interested in mentoring people. So what if I were you, I would walk up to the person, say, good afternoon, sir. I really followed what you've been doing and I would love to learn from you. I don't know if you'd like to be my mentor. Don't get, he didn't see this coming. He didn't know that he's just doing his own thing. So he didn't know that anybody was looking at him. So he might just say, mentor, okay. You say yes. So he will say, okay, so how do you want us to go about it? Well, I don't know if I can be coming around to discuss with you. Probably we could meet online, or I could come to your office maybe once in a month so I can discuss my challenges and you also can give me some insight. But you have to be sure that the person actually has what you need. Now, remember that he's giving you his time. So his time should not be wasted. If he says we should meet 4 o'clock, be there 3:45. It shows your seriousness. And if he's not ready for you by 4, but at least he knows you've been there by 3:45, by 4:10, he will definitely be there for you. But also be ready to be disappointed. Because the outer success you see may not match up with the inner workings of that success when you get there. Sure, you understand me? A surveyor could outwardly be very successful. He drives nice cars, he lives in a nice house, he's in very nice places. But when you come to his practice and you sit down there and right in front of you, in the next 30 minutes, 10 assistant surveyors or quack surveyors have come and sign plans. So this is what this Oga does. You know, at the end of the day, you find out that this is not for you. You should have the courage to walk away. But we respect. Thank you very much, sir, but I don't think this is working for me. So it's important to do your research about your proposed mentor. Study them well before approaching them. I hope you understand, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful. That is right.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So who else has another question?
Yeah, there's another question that says, how do I identify a good mentor? Why did this
I just said it. You're lucky these days. It's easy to find a good mentor. You have social media, you have the NIS branch meetings, you have NIS AGMs, you have so many subgroups where NIS meets. A good mentor would be consistent. You will see him consistent in the things that you actually like about him. If it's about being a good orator, you will see that he talks fluently at events and what he says makes sense. If it's about practice, you see that his practice is very robust and nice. So you find out that there's a lot of consistency about this person. So he actually knows his onions. He knows what he's doing. Like somebody identified Abolaji now as, when it comes to drone, I'll go to Abolaji. It's not because Abolaji has hung the signboard on his head to say, I'm a drone pilot, I'm a drone this or a drone that. Or at the back of his car, you see a drone sitting there. It's because they have seen him being consistent in using his drone and they have seen the results that he has produced. Sure, you understand? So you have to take your time in picking a mentor. It's not something you rush. A mentor is not a dressing accessory because your friend has one. You too, make her go find one. It doesn't work that way. You have to take your time and know exactly what you want and be sure that that mentor has exactly what you want before you approach him. And you also have to be ready for the rejection. Sometimes somebody will say, I cannot mentor you, not because he doesn't like you, but because maybe at that particular time in his life, he has so much going on and he knows he will not be able to give you the attention that you need. But I'm a person that doesn't take no for an answer. I will say, is it because it's not convenient for you now, sir? I can wait. I can patiently wait until the time you are ready for me. So you must be ready for that rejection. It can happen.
Please, can you mute yourself, please?
I think you have somebody talking there. So you must be ready for that rejection. And it happens to all of us. I've had mine as well. And I've had reasons to reject people for mentorship as well. Not because I don't want to, but because I believe it's a sacred responsibility. And there's no point doing it if I cannot do it well. So be ready for that rejection. If you really think that person is good for you, you too should be willing to wait for that person to have time for you. Remember, you are not the only person looking for this person to be, or this person to be your mentor. There are so many people who are looking for this same person. And you should know that somebody is not a good mentor if he starts picking everybody that comes to say, I want to be you want to be my mentor, be my mentor. And he's going to have time for everybody. So research your mentor very well. Make sure that your mentor's skills and talents align with your goals and your desires. Remember, a man cannot give you what he does not have. A man cannot give you what he does not man. Somebody who is running a single practice cannot mentor you on partnership. Somebody who is dedicated to engineering survey will not be somebody who will be good to mentor you on land and dispute surveys and how to behave in courts. So you need to see that track record. You need to verify it by asking other people and be sure that this person has what you need. Then finally, does this person's temperament and lifestyle match my own? I must say this, especially for the female surveyors amongst us, and also the male surveyors too. Sometimes a mentorship relationship can go sideways. You can get sentimental about your mentor, but you have to be careful where you draw the line. You can't get involved with your mentee, and you can't get involved with your mentor because the objectivity will no longer be there. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm sure everybody on this platform is above 16. So you have to be cautious about that. Sometimes we get attached to our mentors. Sometimes mentors get attached to their mentees. And then we start asking for things that are not part of the mentorship program. The only way to get out of that is to structure your program from the get-go. Have a timeline. At least, even if you're going to extend it, first work with the timeline you have. Have your defined topics that you're going to discuss so that things like, do you go out? What do you do to relax? Is it okay if we go out? All those things don't get into the way. You have to understand that very well. So please don't, mentorship is business-like. Don't mix it. So I think that answers the question from somebody who talked about boundaries. So boundaries have to be set. Boundaries have to be set, and you should not, you should not shy away from speaking your mind. I always like my mentees to be confident. They should be able to look me straight in the eye and say exactly what is on their mind, respectfully. Respectfully, you should be able to tell me what is on your mind, and you should be ready to take as much as you give, because I will tell you what is on my mind too. When mentorship starts to turn to, I have to question your loyalty, it's not your job to defend your mentor. And it's not your mentor's job to pick you up when you fall. His job is to encourage you to stand up on your own strength, because it is your own strength that you are going to use to practice this profession. It's not going to be there all the time to hold you up. A mentor is not where you go to and ask for that 500,000 to pad job, or you need 200,000 to mobilize for a job, or you need 50K to get through the weekend. That's not mentorship anymore. It's not mentorship. So you have to draw your boundaries from day one. Tell your mentor the things you like and you don't like. Tell him the things you can do and you can't do. And he will also tell you the same. If he does it, please request. So you know when you are not crossing the line. Those lines have to be there. Those boundaries have to be respected. Somebody asked a question about which strategies can be used to match mentors and mentees. Like in the YSN Africa Network, we try to pair. What we try to do is not to put you together with somebody that is very familiar with you, but we also try to put you with somebody that can understand you. Like we consider the language, that means we consider the geography, the generation, and the gender. These were very key things for us to consider. We also considered your areas of interest. In the African Mentorship Program, we are not only pairing surveyors, we are pairing estate surveyors, quantity surveyors, and we're also pairing them by their areas of specialization that they were interested in. We tried to pair people who wanted to learn more about hydrography with hydrographers, people who wanted to learn more about engineering survey with engineering surveyors, people who wanted to know about construction economics with people who specialize in construction economics, and different fields like that. So you have to match the skill, you have to match the age, you have to match the temperament. These things are very, very important.
Sir. So we have a question here. Advice for a timid mentee having difficulty connecting with his mentor. That's one.
Ooh,
there's another one that says,
okay,
how can I get a mentor? I think, yeah.
Okay.
There's another one that says, how can I get a mentor?
A timid mentee. I want to believe that that person is shy, right? Shy and not very outspoken, not very outspoken. I think it's important you let your mentor know this from the get-go. Let the person know that I don't quickly talk. So if I have somebody who is timid, I would rather say, okay, I'll send you some questions. And why don't you just write the answers and send to me? You know, the fact that he doesn't have to say it in my presence gives that person some confidence to write the answers in their own convenient space. But as a good mentor, I'm not going to leave him like that, because one of my objectives would be to make him come out of his shell. So I might now move on after the person is comfortable writing to me. I will now move on to, why don't you send me a voice note? And in each step, I'll keep encouraging the person. Then we'll have short discussions, not very long. Then we'll have face-to-face discussions. It's because I know the person is timid. That's why I'm going that route. So if you're timid or you have any other thing that keeps you, you feel that maybe you have other inadequacies, be very open with it. You see, your mentor keeps everything you tell. A good mentor will keep everything you tell him confidential. I'm Catholic, so I understand that. When you confess to a priest, he can't use it anywhere. So whatever you tell me is between us. So he will keep it confidential, but he will also know how to use it. If you don't tell me what your issues is, I can't help you. So if I know that you are timid, and I'll ask you, do you want to get rid of this timidity? Because like I told you, it's not the job of the mentor to reinvent you. It's to bring out that potential that is already buried in you. So I will ask you, do you want us to do something about this? If he says yes, then I'm not going to, you don't take too much. It's a step at a time. Eventually that mentor will come to his own. If you have the patience as a mentor for that mentee, you definitely come. And if you also have the humility to follow the instructions, you will definitely get there. So what's the other question again? I think I forgot.
Yeah, how can I get a mentor?
Then
mentors, I think you can match these two together.
You can't get mentors in ShopRite, so I can tell you that straight away. They don't have a shop for mentors in ShopRite or Just Right or any right for that matter. You are going to have to find a mentor. It's like the same thing. How do I find a wife? How do I find a husband? How do I find a boyfriend? How do I find a friend? It's almost the same thing. You have to look for somebody that complements you, somebody that matches your temperament, somebody that has time for you. Some of these things you cannot discover when making the choice. Some of these things you will discover after making the choice. The point is, do you have the courage to walk away if it's not working for you? That is something you will have to decide by yourself. Some mentors will tell you, this is not working. I don't think I'm the right fit for you for these reasons, and probably help you to find somebody else. But it's important that you have the courage to know first what you want. Take your time to look for somebody that has it. Then be patient and humble enough for that person to give it to you. It's like when you go to a barber or you go to a hairdresser or you go to a tailor, you know what you want, but you have to be patient enough for that tailor or that barber to make that thing for you. So that's the way it works.
Thank you, sir. So there's another one. How can I build a strong mentor-mentee relationship? Okay.
Well, that's a two-way street. It's not something that's entirely up to you. And like I told you, if the mentor and the mentee both put their cards on the table from the beginning, that's a very good start for a relationship. And like every relationship, you have to invest in it. You have to invest in it. You have to respect boundaries. You don't call your mentor around 12 a.m. in the night because you see him online. He's online, but is he online for you? He's not online for you. You've already agreed the times you will meet. You don't choke him or you don't choke her. Okay, imagine I have a female mentee now and she sees me online 11:30 in the night and she's pinging me. Now mentorship be that. How am I going to explain that? Or I'm the mentor and I'm pinging her around that time and she's newly married. Sure, you understand me? So you should understand the times, or even during the day, you want to talk to your mentor, you're calling him 6:30 a.m. in the morning. Unless it's an emergency, I don't think it's necessary. You have the times you're supposed to discuss issues. You also don't come to your mentee, your mentor, or with the belief that this is the problem, solve it first. I will learn from the solution. You yourself should carry your issues to a particular level and show him what efforts you have made. No mentor wants a lazy mentee. No mentor wants a mentee that only wants handouts. Just tell me the answer. Okay, just tell me the answer. Oh yeah, what do I write? The proposal is closing by 2 p.m. What do I write? Nobody wants that kind of a mentee. Because a time will come, the mentor will think that he's working for you. Do you understand me? So finding a mentor is like finding a needle in the haystack. There are so many boxes you have to tick off. Those boxes are boxes you have to design yourself. The boxes that Anu would want in a mentor is not the same boxes that maybe Bolaji would want in a mentor. We all have our preferences. And remember that as you have preferences as a prospective mentee, a mentor too has his own preferences as well. So you have to meet yourselves in the middle, but have a firm understanding before you start the process, and please document your understanding. So nobody says that we did not say this. It's very important. For the African Mentorship Program, we have a handbook that explains exactly where the boundaries are. So you and your mentor should have like an agreement. This is what this relationship is about. So we use it to guide ourselves. Once the relationship is going out of this, it is not working. And we use it to bring ourselves back into the alignment. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. It does. So let me read the other one. As someone who wants to grow through mentorship in surveying, what should I be aware of when joining a new mentorship program, especially mistakes that mentees often make and how to avoid them?
Okay. One of the mistakes mentees often make is especially somebody who's new to mentorship, is that novel feeling that I have a mentor. So the very first person that comes your way, you pick that person as a mentor and not find out that the person doesn't have time for you. And then you now have the fear of telling the person I'm not doing again. That's one of the mistakes. Secondly, is going into mentorship without defined goals. What do you want to achieve from this mentorship thing? What is the reason that you're going into it? What exactly do you aim to learn? And how long have you given yourself to learn this thing? Like I said, mentorship should be measurable. So you must have your own defined goals. You have to first start with yourself. What are my deficiencies? What are the things I can do and the things I can't do? There's this very, very good trick that Norman Vincent Peale devised for professional building. You take a sheet of paper and you divide it into two. On the left side, write all the things you are good at. On the left side, write all the things you are not good at. If you want to bring them to the left side, I want to be able to write very well. You tick it, you bring it, you add it to your left side, and you scratch it out on your right side. Now, when you look at your right side, you need somebody that is good in most of these things or all of these things. You must see and have physical evidence that this person is good. You must ask questions about the person. You must even discuss with the person to be sure that that person can offer you these things. So your mentorship must be measurable. Another thing is that some mentees get so comfortable with their mentor, they forget that your mentor is your mentor and you are a mentee. And sometimes a single gesture, like in many of our relationships, sure you understand me, with friends we have, one wrongly said word, one wrongly perceived gesture can actually ruin a relationship. Sure you understand? So you have to be cautious about that. The other thing that can stop a good mentorship program is lack of discipline. You see, your mentor-mentee relationship is personal. You are telling a mentor things in confidence. He is also sharing his experiences with you in confidence. So imagine I tell you something that is personal to me because I want to help you to grow. And that thing I told you out of confidence to let you know that I have also made that kind of mistake in my life and I've gotten out of it. I now hear it at the Enugu AGM while some people are drinking beer. How do you think I will feel? So if you know you are loose with talking and you cannot keep things to yourself, mentorship is not for you. The same way too, if you tell me something in confidence, and then you also get to the AGM and you hear your story from people that you never spoke to, and you know that the only way they could have known this thing is that my mentor told them, even though they didn't mention your name, how would you feel as well? So that confidentiality, that code of what I tell you is for your ears only is very important. Is very, very important. Don't break that trust. The things you see and the things you hear during mentorship is confidential. You don't break that trust. For the Yorubas amongst you. So you should don't lose that privilege. Another thing you should not do is don't take advantage of the relationship. We've seen it many times. A mentee is sitting down while his mentor is closing a business deal, and the mentee goes around to go and scuttle that deal by saying, I can do it for less. After all, got low already. Don't break that trust. And ditto too for the mentor too. A mentee comes to tell you about a job that he's trying to chase, and you take advantage of that. Like I told you, it is a two-way thing. So these are things you don't do within a mentorship review. And one very important thing you must not do. Every mentorship program has an expiry date. You can renew it, but be disciplined enough to agree that what we agreed on is over, but I would like some more, sir. You know, when mommy cooks when we were small, if you want, you don't ask for more food until you have finished the one she has given you, right? She's not going to give you more food until you have emptied your plate. Some people will eat 2 spoons and say, I want more. No, finish the one that we have agreed on first. Then you can ask for more. Insist on graduating. Graduate and then continue if you so wish. But it must have an expiry date. You need that time yourself to go and see whether you can do these things alone without that shadow covering you. Don't remain in the shadow of your mentor. Go out there and practice what you've learned. So every mentorship program must have an expiry date. Those are the things I would like to add, please.
Thank you, sir. And last question. What strategies can be used to effectively match mentors and mentees?
Wow, that question keeps coming up all the time. Like I told you, temperament, goals, experience, skill level. Those are the important things. The age will not matter if age does not matter to you. The gender will not matter if gender does not matter to you. Like me, I see all surveyors as surveyors till 6 p.m. Whether you are male or female, I don't really consider those things seriously. Then you should match apples with apples. If you're interested in hydrography, you shouldn't even be practicing in Lagos if hydrography is your forte, because the hydrography in Lagos is not as much as the hydrography in Port Harcourt. Sure, you understand me? If you want to do litigation, you shouldn't go to a company or a surveyor who specializes more in engineering survey, because that's not his forte. It doesn't mean he doesn't do it, but it's not about it. If you want to grow in the ministry, you don't go to private sector to go and look for a mentor for civil service politics, civil service decorum, civil service things. You need somebody within the civil service. So it's important that your goals and the skill of your mentor and the experience of your mentor align. We all know what align means, right? It's something we do all the time. So your goals and what your mentor can offer must align. When they align, then you have to agree on this. The personal circumstances of that mentor has to agree with you. If your mentor clubs every Saturday and Friday nights, you should know that he will not have time for you on Friday and Saturday. And if you are somebody who is busy from Monday to Friday, and Friday and Saturday is your free time, yes, he might have everything you want, but you're not going to get him to give you anything because your space does not come in contact at the same time. And you must recognize that. And how do you know that? He misses the first meeting, he misses the next meeting, he misses the third meeting. and he's not even making any efforts to make up for it, it's time to move. You're not going to get anything because the time you have lost, you can't get back. So like I said, you must be courageous. And that's why if you have documented it, it is easy to leave the relationship because you have documented what you want. But if you just say, sir, can you be my mentor? And he says, no problem. When do we start? Okay, I'll call you. And he doesn't call you for 6 months. You are still his mentee because Jeje Elojoko. He sat down on his own, Jeje. You are the one that came to meet him. You didn't document anything. So it's good for him to take offense if you don't come when he's ready. So document the relationship. Tell him. Somebody asked me once, very recently, said, sir, I want you to be my mentor. I saw the chat. I didn't answer. It was deliberate. I wanted to know how hungry he was. After 2 days, he pinged me again. Sir, I hope you have not forgotten about my request. I said, which request? He said about mentorship. I said, okay, I'll think about it. I'll get back to you. After a week, he called me again. He says, I want you to be my mentor. I said, okay. Go and write down in clear terms what you think mentorship is about. Submit it in 2 days. He submitted it in 1 hour. I said, in 2 days, I want you to think about it. So he submitted it in 2 days. I said, okay, go and write what you want to get from this mentorship and how long you want it to be and how it wants to happen. That's the stage we are in now. He's still working on that. So everybody has his own way. You see, you will know when somebody is experienced. Sometimes this mentorship thing is new to the mentor himself. So you may have to learn from each other. So you should be sure that this person has what he wants, because the mentor too is also watching you to be sure that you are a good fit for him or her. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
We have 2 more. I thought that was the last
good.
one.
I can go all night. Go on.
What barriers, personally or organization? He said personally or organization. Sorry, have you faced in finding or becoming a mentor? Okay, what? Yeah.
What barriers have I faced in my having the time to do it? Having time to do a good job about it. Sometimes it could come at a time I'm very right now. I think I am more flexible with time. The people I tried to mentor when I was Secretary General of FNIS, I think I disappointed a few of them because I couldn't control my time because of the responsibility of being Secretary General of FNIS. And the same thing happened when I was Secretary General of APBN, because I could get a call today, come to Abuja, and we already fixed a meeting for today. So having the time to do a good job was one of the barriers I had. The other barrier I had was, despite all your good efforts and good intentions, you notice that your mentee is not taking the issue seriously. He's not taking these issues. It kills my morale. That was another barrier I had. Then when trust is broken, that also hurts a lot. Like I said, when you tell somebody something in confidence and that person, because he's not feeling okay at a particular point in time or did not like what you said, uses it as a point. I mean, it would be nice. I mean, all of you would love if I just tell you something that one mistake Surveyor Bosonaide made that he told me in confidence. Can you imagine that? So Surveyor Bosonaide náà ti ṣe rẹ́rìí láyé ẹ̀. Bàbá Yàrá ẹ̀ máa fọ́ọ̀mù pé how do you think Surveyor Bosonaide will feel? He said it to help me from falling into the same mistake. And I used it to look big in front of my colleagues that I'm so close to him that look at his secret he told me. So those are some of the barriers you face. Then finally, for a mentee to think that you're an ATM, to say, Oga, AGM man ball, I don't know how to get there. Shaking by accommodation at Odoyini. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So those are some of the barriers I faced.
So, please, how does mentorship in surveying goes beyond technical skill learning?
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this, and I've not said it enough. Those of you who follow me on the Business of Surveying work group, all of us are technical surveyors. That's what SOCON tests of us. Your SOCON exam will test your technical side. But in real life, you also need soft skills to get through life. So your soft skills, there's really no syllabus for it. What distinguishes us from each other is not what we do, it's how we do what we do. As a business person, for me, the survey is not the most important thing I want the client to have. It is the experience of me doing that survey for that person that matters most to me, because that's what brings the business back. What was the experience like for the client? What was the experience like for the client? So those are things that you need to learn that are not taught in school.
If they can turn this right.
Why are my proposals always failing? Sometimes people don't realize that some clients don't go for the lowest price. Some clients also don't go for the highest price. Some clients go for the proposal that resonates with them. This guy, somebody will say, this guy knows what he wants to do for me. This guy understands this job. Forget the fee, I will pay. So those are the things that you need to learn. That's what you need mentorship for. I'm not going to mentor you to use a total station. I'm not going to mentor you to learn how to use a drone. I'll tell you, go and pay Bolaji for a course, he will teach you. If you need to know AutoCAD, go and do that, I'll teach you. But I can mentor you about how to sit in a room and make your small survey company look like it's bigger than it should actually be to get clients for you. I can tell you how I navigated this, I navigated that. I can share my experiences with you on how to manage a job. You know, it's one thing to get a job, it's another thing to do it. And it's another thing to do it well. And it's another thing for somebody to want you to do it again. These are 4 different phases. Clients can go for 2 out of it. I can give you a job and thank God that Otisheton, bye-bye. Like, never in my life will I go to this person again. If a barber has cut your hair badly, you still pay him for that job, right? But you'll never go there again. Same thing for nails, hair, whatever it is. Food, if you go to a buka and the rice is salty, you still pay for it, but you won't go back there again. So it's one thing to get a job. It's one thing to be called to do a job again. It's another thing to do a job well. It's another thing for a client to say, I'll wait for you till you are back and you are free to do my job. There are different phases of client relationships. Client relationships is something that we have not learned in this profession. First of all, to learn client relationship, maybe you must be dealing with clients directly. If you are signing, you are never dealing with clients directly. So learning client relationship is a waste of time for you, because the survey assistant that wants you to sign doesn't care whether you sign with your head upside down, doesn't care whether you sign, whether you are paralyzed, just sign and give me my plan. He is the one that is doing client relationship, not you. So if you don't have clients, what do you want to learn client relationship for? You should learn survey assistant relationship. And the only way to do good survey assistant relationship is to offer a lower price, lower than what is average, because the guy will always go for a lower price. So for mentorship, you really have to know what you want. That's what I said. And the mentorship could also be for institutional leadership. If you read my paper, I talked about ethical leadership, institutional leadership. If you want to be a good secretary one day in the future, you have to relate with the secretaries you see now so you can learn the ropes. So you understand me? That is very important. So you can learn the ropes. You start at committees. When you work on committees, you offer yourself. So I want to work with you. You are the assistant secretary. This AGM, I want to assist you so I can know what you are doing. You know the ropes. That is mentorship. Because you are not going to be at the table, but you can be in the room. The guy in the room is not as good as the guy at the table, but he's better than the guy that is outside. How many of you want to be in the room? Any one of you who read my birthday tribute to myself, I made a statement. I said, I have opened doors to rooms that I stood outside. I have sat at tables that I watched from afar. I was mentoring, I was being mentored at those times. I have been served on the tables that I have served others. That's going through mentorship. And everybody who wants to be successful should learn to humble himself and go through mentorship. It's very important. Mentors will not offer themselves to you. They say, I want to mentor you. No. It happens, but it's not everywhere, every time. You have to go after somebody. For those of us who read Bibles among you, you know the story of Elijah and Elisha. When the man was going to go, he said, I will not let you go. I'm going to stay with you. Look at the story of Ruth too in the Bible. She stood there and said, I'm going anywhere you go, I go with you. That is dedicated mentorship. A mentee saying, you have what I want, and I'm going to stay with you till I get it. It's very important. You have to be hungry for it, more hungry than the mentor himself. You guys watch Chinese films, right? Or you don't watch Chinese films anymore. I always use Chinese films as an example. Karate Kid, the guy will say, wipe the bonnet right, wipe the bonnet left. The student felt that when you're going to teach me how to fight, let us learn how to fight from day one. But those initial exercises actually help to build his inner strength. You may not know the direction your mentor is going to, but you must have faith that your mentor will not lead you astray. A good mentor will not lead you. You may not understand his methods, but he will not lead you astray. Why is this man not telling me the answer to this thing? I'm tired, Jerry. What is all this? But he's helping you to discover, because what you discover by yourself, you don't forget. Do you understand? What you discover, it's easy for me to tell you the answer, but what you discover by yourself, you don't forget. So to be a good mentee, you must have that perseverance. You must have that discipline. You must have that patience. And you must have that courage to be wrong. And the gumption to hear that you are wrong and don't let it pain you. Let it inspire you. Use that failure. Use it as firewood to fire yourself up to say, I will show this mentee I can be better than this. Thank you. Hello, am I the only one here?
No,
Sorry,
sir.
I was muted. I was already talking. I didn't know.
Okay.
Yes, we will not be taking questions again, please. But someone asked this question: Should the number of years of a mentor, no, should the numbers of years a mentor has been in practice matter when looking for one? Then, okay, that's one. But Surveyor Akinropo answered it, and he said it matters according to practice law. So I don't know if you want to shed more light on that. That is
The
one,
number of
sir. I think I
years.
want to
Okay.
merge these two questions together, sir.
Okay.
You spoke about the possibility of having multiple mentors. How do we suggest a mentee navigate conflicting advice from multiple mentors?
Okay, let me first clear that up. When I said you can have multiple mentors, but what I was actually thinking about that there are different aspects of your career you're working on at the same time. It doesn't make any sense having two mentors for the same aspect of your career. So if you're working on your leadership skills and you're also working on your entrepreneurial skills, you can have a mentor for entrepreneurial skills and your leadership skills. Sure, you understand? So when I say multiple mentors, I mean that you are working on different aspects of your career at the same time. You can have a mentor for a particular area of your career, finish with that person, and then move on to the next person. Now, when the advice conflicts, I expect you to rely on your experience, because anything your mentor tries to teach you, I expect you to test. You see, some things will work depending on the time and the season. Let me give you an example. There was a time we could predict with all manner of certainty that if we decide to have an event on so date, it will not rain because the weather was so predictable, right? But now it is not like that again. So time and season will also come to play. So anything you want to do with a mentor, don't have two mentors for the same area of your life. You definitely have different experiences. So it is going to be very, very different. It will be confusing to you. But you can have two different mentors, each one handling a different aspect of your professional development. Then the other question, the first question was about, please remind me, sorry, I got carried away with this one.
The first question, sir, yes. The first question was considering the number of years the mentor should have in practice.
Okay, the number of years, Well, it depends on the profession. It depends on what you're talking about. If it's about leadership, you don't know for how long that person has been a leader. Leadership is not about your leadership in surveying alone. Leadership is quite general. The person could have been leading in a different type of a life that you even didn't know anything about, that the experience is much longer than the ones you have a timeline on. Sure, you understand me? Like you have a timeline on. But if it's about a professional area now, maybe dispute surveys now, the experience really matters. Now, when you want to gauge experience, you don't gauge experience by time alone. You gauge experience also by visible achievements. If somebody is a lawyer today, and in 2 years, that person has argued 6 cases in the Supreme Court, you will say that person has some experience, right? Reasonable experience, because there are people who have been in the same law practice for 10 years that have not even had a single case in the Supreme Court. And this one in 2 years has won 6 cases in the Supreme Court. You will say he's only been a lawyer for 2 years, but he has gathered a lot of experience. For somebody who is in medicine and has delivered maybe 40 babies in the first year of practice, you won't say that person doesn't have experience too. So that's also a level of experience. That's also a level of experience. So you understand me? So I think you have to have an objective look at the experience you're talking about. But when we're talking about surveying, it takes about 5 years to know whether a practice is stable or not. When I mean how stable is your practice, can you say for certainty that in a good year, any year from now, the minimum I can make is so much? These are the number of regular clients that I have. These are the jobs I know I will do and I have done. So I wouldn't advise a young surveyor to be mentored by anybody that is less than 5 years. You can be advised by somebody who is less than 5 years, but if you want to be mentored, at least let the gap between you and that mentor be at least 5 years. 5 years. 5 years.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. I'm going to say
you're welcome.
Thank you. On this note, on behalf of Mentorship and IT Committee, I'm going to be saying thank you to the executive. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to YSN members for attending and every surveyor on this call. And also to our speaker, I'm going to say thank you very, very much. And on this note, I'm going to be bringing our state chair, Surveyor Adegoke, to please come on board. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you again, moderator and the chairman for the mentorship committee. Thank you for this job. Well done. Thank you to all of the committee members for a great job. Well done. You know, I was actually hoping that there was something that was going to happen before I come on board, but again, I want to say a big thank you for all of the good work that you guys have put into this particular program. And again, we can see that it's nothing short of, excellent, and the fact that it's also very, very relatable and engaging shows that our speaker, this is me now saying thank you to our speaker has done a great job. And I want to also say on behalf of the ESCOs, the members of YSN Lagos, we appreciate your effort, we appreciate your presentation. We want to say thank you very much, sir, for all that you do for the young surveyors, not just the network, but all of the young surveyors. And then we also want to say a big well done to you also for your zealous approach to practice and everything that you do also. And
as much as we are talking about mentors, so we are also seeing role models and mentors out there, and you stand as one, sir. So thank you very much for all you do for the profession. And then again, to our members, please, would like that we do not just listen to all of these things. The recording will be available also, so you can revisit and then listen. However, I would love that we also find a way to fashion our practice or our complaints or anything, our jobs, in a good way that would be worthy of emulation. And then we hope that the nearest or farthest future, people would fall back on this and then be happy that they are a part of it, or even the trainer or the speaker would look back and say, okay, yeah, I made a big positive impact on those people. So we look forward to that. And then we say thank you very much to the ESCOs too, so that they are not left out. Thank you very much for all of the good work that you guys do too, that every one of us do. All right. So thank you very much, Madam Moderator. Over to you.
Thank you very much once again. Thank you to my committee members. I really do appreciate you. On this note, I'm going to call a prayer. I'll call somebody to give us our prayer. But before then, State Chair, what you asked for, we will be doing it on our platform because we are trying to keep to time. We don't want to be late at all because everybody needs to go. So, Miss Fatima, is she here? Okay. I'm trying to see. We had the Christian prayer. Okay. Okay, can somebody please pray for us?
Yes.
Okay, please. I wanted you to please pray for us. Or I want you to please pray for us.
Okay.
A closing prayer. Thank you, ma.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We thank Almighty Allah for the successful program, and we pray that Allah gives us more wisdom and knowledge to understand everything that has been discussed. So we said, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. If you are a Muslim, please. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdina siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim, ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, YSN Lagos. Thank you, Mentorship and IT Committee. Thank you, Surveyor Olumide Adewebi.
Thank you for having me, and good luck. My paper will be distributed to you guys, and if anybody wants to discuss this topic further, when you see me, just holla.
All right, sir. I'm actually in your DM, sir.
Oh, great. No problem. I'll take a look. So we'll talk. We'll talk. Okay.
All right, sir. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Bye.